Hi friends, this is part 2 of the Why Dartmouth video in reasons 7 through 12. There's some stuff in here about Greek life and safety on campus and just a lot of random miscellaneous stuff that I didn't realize until I got to campus and learned more about the school. So yes, I have a lot more personal experiences here and I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I just think this is a really valuable video, especially for how Dartmouth is represented on the YouTube space, because I didn't want to misrepresent it, considering that it was a pre-frosh. So please like, subscribe, love this video. I don't have an intro because clearly I split this video up, and yeah, please enjoy. Thanks.
Reason number 7. Greek life isn't as scary and like in your face about it as I expected it to be. And that was something that scared me off at first. I almost didn't apply to Dartmouth because I was like, oh, it's in the middle of nowhere and everyone's involved in Greek life. But after spending a term, I've started to like see the benefits of the system as well. Basically, what I'm going to talk about is fraternities, sororities, co-ed frats, and all of that. I am still a freshman, so I still haven't like experienced all of this, of course, but I will say that like, from what I've seen, because 50-60% of students sophomore year and above are involved in Greek life, it doesn't seem as scary because you can look to your left and look to your right, and one of them is one of those people is going to be involved in a Greek house. Like, because the system is so large, I do think that there's a lot more spaces, like a larger diversity of spaces for people. And also, most people who are a part of Greek life do not live in their house. So just because you're part of a Greek house doesn't mean you're always like living in that house and like doing whatever Greek houses do. I'll leave that up to the imagination. But basically, from what I've heard also, Greek houses can be as big or as small of a commitment as you want them to be. Like, there's a lot of people that are just casually involved in Greek life, and I think that's a good thing to have sometimes. Again, there's just a large variety of Greek houses that I think a larger diversity of people can find their place within the system. And so far, it showed me that in that sense. Like, there's houses that have people that are more social justice minded and some that are definitely more bro-y. Also, in freshman year, you can't rush a Greek house because that's just policy. Everyone rushes in sophomore year. So in that freshman year, you really have the chance to just like feel out the scene, and it's not as intense. There's no pressure to start off and be like, oh, you gotta join this frat immediately. You have 3 days to show us you're cool. And also during the first 6-7 weeks of the freshman fall term, there's freshman frat band where freshmen can't go hang out at the frats. All the frats require you to show ID before coming in, and freshmen aren't allowed to come in except for like big dry parties during the first 7 weeks, and that also kind of just helps with easing the transition into starting college. However, once freshman frat band lifts, you can get into any Greek house with that ID, and I've talked to other friends at Greek heavy schools, and I found out that like that's not really the case at a lot of places. Like, for a lot of big Greek schools, you can't get in unless you know someone, or typically freshman guys can't get in until they rush and things like that. So it's definitely a lot more of an inclusive climate in the Greek system at Dartmouth versus like southern schools or like big Greek schools. Alright, number 8, I wanted to talk about my experience with advising, which so far has been really great. You have an advisor that I believe sticks with you for all 4 years, maybe not, but I do know that they are very open and accessible. Like, by advisor, I'm talking about undergraduate deans, but there's also faculty advisors, which are a faculty member that is assigned like 3 students that you can go and talk to. I loved my faculty advisor. I wish I talked to him more. I've talked to him once all term, but he is an incredible man. That's one of my bigger regrets this term, but nonetheless, advising at Dartmouth is great. The undergraduate deans always seem to have appointments available. They have drop-in hours from 1 to 4 p.m. on weekdays, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm not sure. But personally, I have visited my undergraduate dean like 3 times this whole term, and like I keep going whenever I have a problem. Sometimes I'll just drop in when there's drop-in hours, and yeah. Like, even during course selection time, I didn't have any problems accessing advising help in terms of choosing my courses. When I was pre-med, well, surprise, I'm not pre-med anymore, but when I was pre-med, I got to learn a little bit about the pre-med resources also. There's a pre-med advisor, they have other fellows in the office that were like pre-med students as well that graduated or were seniors or are now in the School of Medicine, and they're there to provide guidance too. So it's just very comprehensive and always available, and that's been my experience so far. Reason number 9, safety. Being in the middle of nowhere has its benefits because you're not dealing with the prospect of getting mugged at 4 a.m. I will attest to the surface level safety of campus. Like, people leave their stuff everywhere just to like save their spots and stuff. Like in the library, people leave their laptops and all their books at a table to save that while they go to the bathroom or like go get food or go get dinner and come back. Like, that may not be the nicest thing to do, but point is, your stuff is not going anywhere. It's honestly a bad habit. Like, in the dining hall, I would leave my wallet to save spots and like leave my phone there, and it's not a habit that you want to take into the real world, but I like that I won't have to worry about that at least for these next 4 years. Like, everyone has a laptop, so why would anyone steal it, kind of thing, you know? The only thing people really steal is bikes, and they don't even like steal them and claim them as their own. They take them, ride them to class, and then leave them there. So if your bike is stolen, chances are it's just gonna end up somewhere else on campus and someone's gonna spot it and tell you. Also, like, personally, I've walked around campus at like 4 a.m. on late nights where I'd have to like print something, and it still felt safe, other than the fact that when it gets foggy, it looks very, very creepy at night. Like, someone's just gonna pop up and be like, ah, and, you know, murder me. But yes, I am kind of freaked out by the darkness and fog, but I am still safe. So yeah. And also, I know that one of the concerns that people have when I'm talking about safety at Dartmouth is like sexual assault and sexual violence prevention because of like some recent lawsuits that came out. But I will say that the sexual assault and sexual violence prevention resources on campus are pretty extensive. So recently, about like a year or two ago, they fully rolled out this program called the Sexual Violence Prevention Project, which was instituted by our current president. They do things where they pop into building or residence hall meetings and stuff like that, and just run a lot of programs. And yes, it still has some kinks that need to be worked out, but the fact that this already exists, pretty good thing. There's also sexual assault peer advocates, which are people that are trained in like handling traumatic experiences that you can go to if anything of that sort happens. Before coming to campus, there's a course that you have to complete on sexual assault education and also like alcohol usage education. And during that whole first week of orientation week, there's a lot of seminars and stuff that everyone has to attend. And yeah, I really like, this is new, so upperclassmen may not know this yet, but this year, at least in my year, like, it feels very, very comprehensive, and to see the effects roll through in the next few years will show how effective it is. But the fact is, they're trying. All right, reason number 10, the collaboration, cooperation, and overall just chillness of everyone. So one thing I found with Dartmouth is that no one is trying to beat everyone out for a grade. Like, more than anything, I felt a lot of collaboration within my courses. My Latin class would study for tests together, for example, and we'd like go over the notes together. And same thing with my stats class. I'd run into people and work on problem sets with them, like just randomly in the library, and they'd be like, hey, have you done this problem set? I'm like, I sure haven't, and then we'd work on it together. So like, that's a culture that predominates even in STEM classes and like pre-med heavy classes. I've talked to my friends that are in those, and they have similar sentiments. For me, the chillness of the campus really showed when I ran for student council, because like, I never had anything thrown at me in that experience. Like, people weren't trying to snake on each other and like steal each other's ideas and like take down other people's posters and stuff like that. None of that happened. It was the chillest thing. Like, I advertised on social media, and that was pretty much it, and no one like got mad at me or took it too seriously or was like just gunning for getting that position. Like, no one really was trying to beat each other out. It was about like getting our messages out and like being effective campaigners and just being nice to people. And that's pretty much been my experience so far on campus. I haven't really felt any competition or any stress culture in that sense. Like, at the same time, people aren't trying to fake okay. Like, we're pretty open about our struggles. That may also just be a generational thing, but no one's trying to pretend like everything's okay, I think. Whenever my friends and I would have problems, we'd be open about them. And even if we're not tight, like, we'd be open about, oh, I didn't do too well on this test or something like that. So yeah, and also like on campus, just the social scene, everyone is involved in everything, and there's a huge diversity of experiences, and it's like the social climate on campus is, I feel, at least right now in freshman year, very like all-encompassing. Like, I'm friends with engineering majors, I'm also friends with English majors, I'm friends with athletes, and I'm friends with people who stay in their dorms all day. I'm friends with introverts, I'm friends with extroverts. So like, everyone is involved in literally such a diversity of things, but that doesn't create cliques. Like, you'll have socially, you'll have friends, of course, that are based on your interests, but at the same time, that doesn't like close you off from other parts of campus. Also, reason 11. Yes, we're doing 11. Dartmouth is not as conservative as people think it is. Like, it's most conservative Ivy, but it's also in a county that votes like very, very, very solidly liberal all the time. So I like to describe it more as like chiller liberal. I think at the very least it is center left. And by that I mean, like, you'll find a lot of libertarians. That's like, socially, I don't think it's any less liberal than a lot of schools, but there's definitely like less protests, I think, and I don't know. I feel like it just hasn't been very polarized to me. Like, I can talk and be friends with people who are on both sides of the aisle. I haven't felt like Dartmouth is conservative at all. I just feel like on campus, everyone can have a place politically, and it'll be more like low-key about everything. So yeah, I really like it for that, because I feel like my interactions with people aren't colored by their political views. Alright, number 12, I think? Yeah. The size. I really, really like the size of Dartmouth. Like, a lot of people may be concerned about, oh, it's too small. It does feel a lot like liberal arts college in its size, but at the same time, it's large enough that you are still constantly meeting people. To me, it means, like, the size means that I can go literally anywhere and never feel alone. And I have hardly ever walked into a room on campus. Like, I started counting the number of times I walked into a room and didn't know anyone, and I think I can count, like, the number of times that happened on my hands. And, like, I really like the size because it definitely does make me feel like I am really part of a school, and that I matter, and the community cares about me just as much as I care about it. So, like, I didn't come to Dartmouth to just get a degree, I came to grow as a person, and I feel like the size really just reinforces the fact that Dartmouth isn't just a diploma mill. You're not there to just get your education and go. You're there to experience so many different things. So yes, thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below something that you're excited to try in college, or something that you have already tried in college if you are already in college. If you're a college student and don't have an answer to that question, go try something, because I promise you it'll be a good experience regardless of what it is. So yes, please like, subscribe, and comment that. And if you're interested more in looking at Crimson Education, click the description box below for the link. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Early decision results are about to come out very, very soon, so stay tuned for a video when those come out, and I'm just excited to meet all the new 23s that are coming pretty soon. So yes, peace out, and I hope this helped you with your Why Dartmouth supplement. Yeah.